Good morning. My name is Katinka. I'm the seamstress at the cottage and welcome back. Over here, I tell you about sewing, knitting, and some life in between. And at the moment, I've been on the road for about a year and a half visiting different continents. So you get a bit of traveling in as well. But today, I'm going to talk about some fabric shopping. There's a few pieces here, and I'm going to tell you about that and also my adventures in Cape Town. So the last time I left you, I was on my way with my little suitcase on the next adventure, and this is where I landed. This is what I love about Cape Town. The one day, Table Mountain is covered in a cloud, and the next day it just throws off its blanket and basks in the glorious sunshine. Cape Town is one of my favorite places. If you ever have an opportunity, pack your bags and go there. But also, just be aware that certain areas are really not safe. So the first thing I did is I went to one of those not so safe areas because one of my favorite shopping places for fabric is over there in Woodstock. It is quaint and quirky and you have to be careful. Oh, I like this. This is the next one. So I got some fabric. Beautiful blues. Because I don't know about you, but I get inspired by my environment. On that note, I need to tell you about Friday Sews. Friday Sews is a hashtag that was started by Jen from Today in Jen's Sewing Room. And if you click on the hashtag, you can find a lot of other creatives who's been sewing and making stuff and also sometimes giving you some life updates. And it's a lot of fun. If you have time or if you just want some mindless sewing content, go click on that hashtag. Back to my fabric. I got some fabric. Now, with traveling, I have to be very careful because there's just so much space in my suitcase. So, one of the things I've been doing is as I go along, I would either sell some of the things I've made or give them to friends. Because when you give something away to friends, you can actually make yourself a new one, or even if you sell it, because that gives you resources to get more fabric and more space in your suitcase. So, a while ago, I gave my Anglaise top away because it was not 100% cotton. And I am a fabric snob. So I got to my favorite fabric street. There's two next to each other. The one is good if you're willing to scratch around. And they had some beautiful fabrics, but it was all on top of each other. It didn't have prices, which is one of my pet peeves. And there was not enough light. So I skedaddled out of there and I went to the one next to it, which is light and which is beautifully curated. And there's people to help you and everything is priced correctly. And that's where I spent my hard-earned bucks. And so the first thing I got was some beautiful voile anglaise. Cotton voile is one of my favorite fabrics. It wears like a dream in summer. Now, even though I'm dressed for winter, just quickly, what am I wearing? The top, it's actually a dress, an underdress that I made for another dress. It's just like one of those silky dresses that you can wear as a petticoat or as a dress. And then over that, I have a merino cardigan that I knitted on my knitting machine, the sleeves and the bodice. And then I picked up all the stitches and I knitted the ribbons and everything else so that I could have this beautiful little cable. And this is one of my favorite cardigans. It's got pockets and I just love the combination and the juxtapose of silk and wool together. So back to the fabric. I got some natural fibers, as I said, and I need a white top. Don't need it, but I want one. And so when I was visiting my friend in Kitts Beach, the place where I was before, she introduced me to Be Mine Balloon Sleeve Top by Pattern Emporium. Now, I've not really heard about Pattern Emporium before, but they're actually quite a good pattern company. What I like about them, you can actually just print the sizes that you need. So if you, for example, are a size 10 at the top and maybe a 12 at the bottom, you can print 10 and 12. You don't have to print the in-between ones and then just grade it. So that's what we did. We took my measurements. Their size charts are really good. And they also tell you how to take your measurements, which is very nice. And we came to the conclusion that I was a certain size and we just printed out those pieces. And you also can pick the pieces that you want to print. So sometimes, like this one has the full bust adjustment that most of the things have. They really are very size inclusive. So I didn't have to print those pieces. Anything that was not part of my pattern pieces that I needed, I didn't have to waste paper on. I'm going to make this top, and I don't want the seam down the front. I'm not going to do that, but I will do those sleeves. Those sleeves are so beautiful. My friend will make the top for herself. She's basically a thinner version of my body shape. So we wear the same style, but she's just 5 sizes smaller. And I've always aspired to be that size, but this is my size and I'm just going to embrace it. But anyway, I saw it on her and she looked stunning. So I knew that it will suit me as well. And I'm going to make that top in the anglaise. Then I found this linen callas. Oh, and the print is just, oh, I can look at it forever and a day. And there's this pattern by Silver Sage pattern called the Ala dress, which I love. And I looked at it and I've been looking at it, but I'm not willing to pay $25 for a pattern. That's like almost 500 rands. I could buy a lot of material for that money. So I remembered when I came across my Instagram account from Patterns and they had a similar dress on there. So if I went and I looked, because I knew I put that little yellow flag at the bottom so I can get back to it. And I found it and it's like $5, I think, or maybe, yeah, I think it's $5. But I'm going to buy that one and I'm going to make this dress in that pattern. Then there were this piece. I think it's stunning. It is a shirt fabric, 100% cotton, beautifully woven. And I want a summer dress. I'm going to make just above the waist and without sleeves. And I will line it. I've got some white lining, cotton lining. And then I'm just going to let it hang down. I thought of giving it maybe a tier, but with the stripes, I think the stripes can speak for itself. And of course, it will have pockets. And if there's enough fabric left, I'll make another of these tops because I can see myself wearing a lot of these tops in summer. So that's all the fabric shopping and my thinking around it. And just a bit of life update. Cape Town was so much fun. I had a chance to meet up with some of my friends and I met a couple at the Cape Town Waterfront. I love it, but it's overpriced. The food's good though. And there was the most amazing piece of cheesecake. And it was just so nice walking around and seeing everything. It's really a nice place to visit. And there we see all those clouds is Table Mountain. And I'm at the V&A Waterfront. And then I also spent time with other friends. We, of course, had to go wine tasting. If you're in Cape Town, you have to go wine tasting just for the experience. There's the most beautiful wine farms, and they are quite affordable to do wine tasting. We took a friend with us that's from Puerto Rico, and she said in Puerto Rico, like as locals, can't really afford to go wine tasting because it's just so expensive. She was quite surprised at how cheap it was.
So this one is one of our heavier wines because it's wooded in new French oak. Typical Sauvignon Blanc, also a little different from the...
This place is so cool. You can't be in Cape Town without going for a wine tasting. The restaurant where we were just now. I can't do a lot of wine. It really affects me badly. I get rashes and everything else. So my sister and our friend, they each got a tasting. And then what they did is they went on the menu and they literally, my sister took the one group of the menu and our friend took the other group. So they went through the whole menu and tasted all the wine. And I would just take a sip of each of them. It was so much fun. We had breakfast there, and then later on I had cake there, of course, cheesecake. And the cheesecake was also very good. And then the one morning we went to another friend of ours and we all plonked down I was at their kitchen counter and my sister and they were working at a table at 5 in the morning and we just sat there working for the day. And it was just so awesome to just catch up with all my friends. And then my sister and I packed up and off we went on a road trip. And on that point, I will leave you and I will catch up with you in the next video. If you liked it, please put a thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed and you like this type of content, I would really love it if you join this community. Goodbye.